In this video, we're going to compare this SmallRig 3639 half cage to this SmallRig 3667B full cage for the Sony A7 IV and other Sony cameras. Half cages and full cages are both really useful to allow you to add a variety of different side handles, top handles, camera monitors, and other accessories to your small mirrorless camera. And they both offer quite a few similarities in all the different features they give you, but there's a couple main differences, and in this video we're going to discuss when you should choose to buy a full cage and when you should buy a half cage. Both of these cages give you mounting points to attach accessories, monitors, top handles to the top of the camera, and you also get cold shoe mounts and strap slots. But on the full cage you get 2 cold shoe mounts, and on the half cage you only get 1. Also on the full cage, I appreciate that the cold shoe is at an angle on the left side because it allows you to fit a microphone in even if you have a top handle or a camera monitor on it. The left sides of both of these are pretty much identical. You get the same slots for mounting both side handles, HDMI clamps, and you also get a NATO rail too, so you can slot accessories directly onto the side of the cage. The bottoms are also very similar. On the full cage you do get more ¼ mounts, but both of them have a built-in Arca Swiss plate. Now on the half cage you can slide the camera on either way, but on the full cage you can only slide it in from the right side. On the full cage you just move this lever out of the way to open the battery door, and on the half cage you don't have to worry about the battery door being in the way. But on the full cage you also get additional stability because there's this screw that goes into the bottom of the grip that helps keep the cage from being able to rotate. The full cage wraps all the way around your camera, and it's a little bit more durable because you have 3 points of contact on this cage versus 2 on this cage. A half cage usually weighs less than a full cage because there's a lot less material on it, and it also gives you better access to the side buttons on your camera. You can see with this full cage, this top right area is just a little bit more blocked off. We can still get to all the buttons, but we have this in our way to deal with. Another thing about the full cage is the side grip of the camera is not as easy to hold because you've just got this material in the way. But this allows you to attach a right side handle to your camera as well as to put a tripod plate on the side too, so you can mount it in portrait orientation to shoot vertical content without having to only turn it on the left side. You can choose between the right or the left. So the full cage is a better option if you want to be able to mount your camera in vertical mode with either the right or the left side. It's also a better option if you want it to be just a little bit sturdier. I do notice sometimes when I use the top handle on the half cage, I can feel just a little bit more play because there's not metal wrapping all the way around the camera. We can still see with this SmallRig half cage, it's reinforced a lot on the left side, but you can still feel the top moving ever so slightly once your camera rig gets weighed down a little bit. So the 2 main drawbacks of the full cage is it's just a little bit harder to hold the grip well, and it makes the shutter button a little bit more annoying to access, and these other buttons on the top are just a little bit harder to access because you've got the metal in the way. So I really don't like using the full cage as much when I'm shooting a lot of photos, especially when I'm shooting portraits, because I want to turn my camera this way a lot and it just makes the grip not quite as comfortable. The other big con of the full cage is you will notice it has a little bit more weight to when you're carrying your camera around compared to the half cage. The other big pro of the full cage is you can also use a right side handle and not just a left side handle on your camera. Now I typically find that using the grip plus the left handle is plenty for me, but some people really like to use that right side handle too, so you need to have the full cage if you want to use the right side handle. The half cage's pros are pretty much all the same as the cons of what the full cage has. You save on weight because it's smaller, and you have easier access to your buttons on the right side of the camera because this is smaller. And you also can just directly hold the camera grip, which is a lot more comfortable for shooting photos. So the half cage is a much better choice for the hybrid shooter who finds themselves shooting a lot of photos. At the same time, you can still add a top handle, the XLR handle, you can add side handles to the left side, HDMI clamps, camera monitors, so you can still add almost all the basic accessories using the half cage that you can with the full cage. The main cons of the half cage are you can't mount the side handle, and you also can't mount the camera in vertical mode using the right side of the camera. The other slight con is it just doesn't feel quite as strong as the full cage because the metal doesn't wrap all the way around. But you get all the other same basic features on this that you do with the full cage. So if you're shooting a lot of photos, I would recommend going with the half cage because you're going to get better access to the grip on your camera while still being able to add your additional accessories for shooting video. If you're shooting primarily video and you want to use a ton of accessories on your camera, I would recommend going with the full cage because it's going to feel stronger and it's just going to give you more versatility having those additional mounting spots on the right side as well as the additional cold shoe and just extra ¼ mounts that you find throughout the cage. If you have any other questions about these two cages, leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Also, I have links for both of these cages and all the different accessories we talked about this video in the description below, so be sure to check that out.